My name is Siobhan, and this is my Chapter 7 reading log that is going to be about the Locomotive book by Brian Floca. It's illustrated by him as well. This publisher is Athenaeum Books for Young Readers, copyright 2013. The genre is historical fiction coupled with some nonfiction. It's 64 pages long, and it's appropriate for preschoolers to probably 5th grade. And it won the Caldecott Medal. It was a winner in 2014, and it's a Seabird Honor Book for 2014 as well. This book is full of watercolor illustrations that have ink to kind of give the details. Full page images that are just beautiful, and it has lots of typographical diversity, lots of expression in the font choices, and it just reflects some of the movement of a railroad. So things get bigger and bolder as you would assume that they're getting louder. So this book starts out, it doesn't have any defined characters. It keeps talking about you start your trip in Omaha at the depot. You get on the train, you go through these different passages as you move along the railroad track. It kind of immerses the reader into the book so that you're not just an outsider looking in. It gives you the feeling that you're actually a passenger on that railroad. It's pretty interesting. It's historically accurate as it moves from Omaha. It goes through to Cheyenne. It continues along this is the Great Plains. It kind of talks about different elements of the locomotive and the railroad cars. I'm trying to get to one of these pictures that I really liked. As they pass along, they go over this amazing rickety Dale Creek Bridge, which is in Wyoming. And it's kind of interesting because it provides motion and movement. You can see that it kind of has a shaky look to the drawing, so you can kind of feel like you're actually on the train and you're experiencing that rickety bridge as it's going across. This book just continues to progress through the travel westward from Omaha to California. It illustrates many of the different geographical elements of the different states and territories that they go through. It also goes into some great detail about the function of the locomotive, the boiler rooms, the steam, the coal burning, the different people that run the engine. And then they finally arrive in Sacramento, and they're reunited with presumably a father, but it doesn't go into any details on any of the characters. And that's where they're going to make their new home. This book's entertaining with a lot of information, so it kind of gives you a different way of presenting the history of the railroad and how it would feel to be on a locomotive in the 1800s. It even stops and specifies that they reached Promontory Summit, which is where the railroads came together when they developed the cross-continental passageway. So this is a great book. You can use it in so many different ways. You can use it for geography lesson for the U.S. territories, the history of the U.S. territories, the history of the railroad, just elements of the era that this book is set in. I have some information that I've obtained regarding how the railroad obtained their lands and how they were able to finance their development of the railroad, which I would implement into my lesson in this book just to kind of give a little bit more of a background information. As far as a application for this book, I went on to Brian Floca's website and found a amazing graphic for the locomotive, and I would have the students drop their own scenery that they would have their train travel through, and write a couple sentences about their traveling, just to kind of give the kids their own perspective of riding the locomotive.